What's up, shitheads? FDE here. We're out at 100.7 The Viper radio station. We're going to be appearing on their AM sister channel. TJ?
No, wait a minute. You don't appear on radio.
Oh, what?
Because appear means to be seen.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure radio doesn't have pictures.
Oh, okay.
But we are going to be on. Well, I'm going to be on. You're going to be videoing me. Evidently, I've been invited to be on some show called Not Politically Correct, which a lot of our friends say is a perfect show for me to be on. They have a podcast, so I'm sure we'll be able to link to it. I got to step off the conference call I'm on with Vet TV, and then we're going to go in this big fancy office building and see what they want to talk to me about. They want to talk about red flag laws and about gun restrictions and all the bullshit that's going on right now after these shootings in Texas and Ohio and California and how, you know, the Republicans are turning coat on us. The NRA is neutered and we are in deep shit. They want to talk about that. We're also probably going to talk on this show about what happened yesterday with Google getting outed by a Google whistleblower. Basically, Google's Snowden. They actually released documents proving that Google does basically fuck with the reach and exposure of conservative websites, and TacticalSht.com was listed in the documentation, which is extremely exciting. We always knew we were on lists, and now we know it. So let's go inside and see what's going on.
Which has to be down the hallway somewhere, huh? Yep.
Top security, no smoking. Good thing I left the cigars in the car.
Hey, what's up? You here for the show? Are you here for Tactical?
I am.
Oh, sorry.
This is my cameraman.
Didn't see you. I almost stick him out with the door. Sorry about that. These guys are right over here.
He would have broke the door. He's a pretty big kid.
They're right over there. We're getting you a mic set up. You get a special mic.
Sweet. Yeah. These guys?
Yep. There's
TJ!
Yeah. You Lee?
Yeah?
What's up, Lee?
You don't remember me.
Kinda, vaguely, yeah. Shit. Shiite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Microphone check.
Tracking which mic he actually.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ABC.
Yeah, that's better, huh? Alright. 3, 2, 1. Hotly.
Hey, good afternoon or good morning. I got to remember where I'm at today. Welcome to Not Politically Correct. I'm Lee Thompson with Andrew Dodd, and for a change, we have a guest in studio.
Nobody ever wants to come hang out with us.
I know, it's scary.
Yeah, whatever.
It was close enough to my home that it made sense.
That's pretty good. I like it.
And we want to welcome Sig Glockincolt.
Sig Glockincolt, a.k.a. my real name, TJ Kirgin.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Not a problem, man.
I actually just moved to St. Paul not too long ago, so literally I'm
I'm
like
sorry.
5 minutes from home.
I'm sorry.
You know, when I first moved up here, I drove through like the St. Paul, Old Monroe area.
Right.
And I thought, man, this is really cool. It was one of the cooler parts of the area up here. I'm from Southern Tennessee. Yeah. So I hit that area and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to live up here. So Old Monroe is where I stopped. So I get the rundown. Well, you know, there's always that one guy. And it's
You
cool.
would think,
you
with
can
my,
be,
with my 20-something years and second-generation radio experience,
It's-
I would turn my phone
you know what?
off
Here's
before
the thing.
before we actually start.
There's
Well,
nothing
the
wrong
thing
with
is,
the
he
phone.
watched me turn mine off.
Yeah. I was too busy talking about Epstein.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Epstein. So as we jump our way down this fun Epstein path, so I get a text message from Lee and it says, "Are you still alive?" And I'm like, what's he talking about? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm alive. What's up?" And he's like, "Epstein dead." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm still alive." I have said to several people throughout the week, they've been like, "Man, how's your week going?" I'm like, "If you hear I killed myself, for real, my week has been great. It was because we talked about the Hillary Epstein scandals again."
Yeah.
Anything new popping out there, guys? What are we hearing?
Well, I can tell you, I do that. Before we get into that, I do the same thing. I'm friends with John Tigan from from Benghazi, as well as Tonto, Chris Peranto. And every time we do some sort of video together or anything on social media, I always tell everybody, hey, I love my life. I love my family. I'm not upset about anything, and I'm not planning any kind of suicide anytime soon. So if I'm found with 2 bullets in the back of my head, rest assured it was not me.
Well, if I'm found with multiple broken bones in my neck, I didn't hang myself.
Wow.
I don't have enough strength to climb a ladder.
We were talking a little bit, and we were talking about this long, many years of the insanity that is everything that has touched the Clintons, and we're going back.
It's getting good now.
I mean, let's go back all the way back to like Vince Foster. We go down this whole list. The creepiest list is the amount of Secret Service and security personnel that have died mysteriously.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
what do they have,
wow.
57 or 63 close friends that have killed themselves or
seriously.
died in some sort of strange thing?
If you're the only people that survive that, you can see where there might, maybe.
It doesn't get any weirder than the painting hanging in Epstein's house of Clinton wearing Monica Lewinsky's dress.
What was that? I saw it the other day and went, no.
Yeah,
I did the thing where you search for 20 minutes to see if it's real.
I get turned on easily, and that didn't do it.
I could see where that just didn't do a lot for you.
Yeah, strangely. It was
That scared me is what it did.
It was a little terrifying.
Yeah. I really thought, man, that'd be great for rat control in Baltimore. Put that out there. That'd run all the rats off.
Oh, Lee, dude.
Okay.
We go down these little side trains a lot of the time,
okay.
and I sit here and I go, what are we? Oh no.
Hey, don't feel bad. I get a letter about every 3 weeks from the FCC for something. And he takes me right to the edge and makes me walk the plank. He gets me there, and he knows I'm going to jump.
I am John Locke. I am all about have some free will. I won't force you to jump over the edge, but I'll push you far enough that you might start touching the edge. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that the FCC is going to be parked in front of my house next week?
No, probably not.
Just another federal alphabet.
Yeah. I mean, aren't they kind of all the same at this point? I mean, really?
All with too much power and too many regulations that they want to say are laws.
I like where you're going, Lee. We're going down that path to liberty.
Yeah.
I love the path of liberty.
Well, what can you say? We've had 2 tragic shootings that we covered last week. I know you covered on your podcast.
Actually, 3.
Yeah.
And then we started with the Garlic Festival shooting in California,
that's
which was
true.
the week before.
That's right.
And then it went to the El Paso shooting, which I call the Mexican Massacre at the Walmart down there.
Yeah.
And then it went to the Ohio shooting. And
then it got to Philadelphia with a convicted felon with a firearm, and they're saying we need more gun laws. Enforce the damn gun laws we got now.
That's because
felons
don't follow laws. Hence the reason they're felons.
Yeah, and I saw an interesting thing the other day, and they said the Second Amendment basically they went through doesn't apply to anything. Doesn't apply to any guns. The Second Amendment only applies to the federal government what they cannot do to guns.
And that's
the liberty thing there.
Well, and that is the continual misinterpretation of our United States Constitution. Is the Constitution is not a restriction on the people, but its purpose is to bind the hands of the government. I'm certainly by no means the screaming anarchist or the full anti-government. I am a constitutionalist, and the Constitution clearly states these following things, and this is what we have to follow. The original NFA Act is completely contrary to the purpose of our Second Amendment.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if we
repeal the NFA,
right, we can look back and we have firsthand accounts of why the Second Amendment was created by the guys who were sitting there talking, hey, we need to do it this way, we need to do this. Well, the purpose of it is for the American people, obviously, to be able to repel a true military force that threatens liberty, whoever that happens to be. It doesn't matter what group is that force. That's the purpose. Well, the NFA was the first step in essentially handicapping that ability to be able to defend against a true armed force. You know, there's always these hardcore left-wingers that are, well, they had it in mind for hunting. No, they didn't, because that's considered a natural right of man.
Right.
If you want to hunt, you go out and you hunt. If you want to fish, you do it.
Then why do we got to get a license?
Right. And these are the things that they would have never even considered. Then they go a step further. Well, it's about being able to protect yourself. No, because that was also an implied thing of the time. If you were attacked by someone and you used deadly, there was no question about it. Yeah, this guy came after me. I killed him. Okay, go about your day.
Cards, so
I shot him.
Good.
That's the end of it. It's over. It's done. So what we really have got to look at with any of these constitutional infringements, no matter what they fall under, First, Second, Third, Fourth Amendment, those are the ones that tend to get bashed a lot. When we look at them, what we've got to look at is what was the true intent and spirit of the reason this was created. Well, the reason all of these we can see are created is to push back and say, okay, yeah, federal government's going to start trying to seize power as time goes on. The Anti-Federalist in their Anti-Federalist papers, what they said would happen if we look at modern America, everything has actually come to pass where you have these massive agencies, massive power. And this is why we, as the people who still... Massive corruption. They talked about that a lot. As the last of people who were taught differently. And that's the truth of it. We are the end of the people who really know what this stuff was. We've got to educate other people as to what our law actually is.
Right.
And that's the whole side. America is about liberty. People are going to do dumb things. Okay, fine. But let's be honest, we've had a, quote, war on drugs for how many years?
I'm actually a veteran of the war on drugs, and it's
yeah?
we lost. I don't know if you know that or not. We lost.
We definitely lost. We can easily go find the most illicit substances within 10 miles of here in any direction we go.
Heroin's like $5 now.
Yeah, it's
like that.
We can go
Fentanyl,
find.
For Christ's sake.
Oh, what a
Everybody's dying of that.
terrible stuff.
You know, we live in one of the most conservative, affluent counties in the nation, and what we have like 100 and something people a year die from heroin overdoses or something, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
Even one of my guys, Fat Dark Earth, he actually lost his neighbor OD'd this morning.
And this is the thing that we've talked about these laws. People scream for laws, but in reality, law has much less to do with it and much more to do with what is the nature of this level of the human existence. And I'm not being an existentialist by any means. What I'm saying is we have discovered that people in our modern world, for lack of a better term, are much more unremorsefully violent than they were in different times. I'm not saying that we live in a more or less violent time than any other time. But what we had before is we did have some guiding things that prevented people, not necessarily even law, from engaging in horrible actions.
I think those are called morals.
Ethics.
Ethics and
moral
morals.
ethics, those things. And they even, the guy who you would go, oh, he's kind of a pain to society, those things still guided him. But we've now found ourselves to where the world has advanced, where there really aren't morals, there really aren't ethics.
And then you have a couple other factors coming into play there. You have a much larger population in the world,
definitely,
and in America than you did back then. And I did some research once. I wrote a blog called Murder Marketing. So I'm a
Yes, you did.
So I own a company called Tactical, and we can't say the other half of it. It's
Sht.
Sht in German. Yes, TacticalSht. But and I do have German heritage, so I can say that.
Yeah, you can.
But
So do I.
I own that company, but I also started in marketing, and I know a lot about data analytics and marketing influence conversions. And when you have 5% of Americans are sociopaths.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means they have the capability to do violence without remorse. Okay.
Definitely.
4% of Americans are psychopaths.
Correct.
Which essentially, and people will correct me on this one, but essentially, I'm gonna paraphrase by saying they don't just not have remorse, they enjoy it.
Correct.
Violence gives them a thrill, and so if you add 5 and 4, my Catholic education says that equals 9.
I believe it does.
Let's go ahead and round to 10.
Let's go to 10.
And let's say 10% of Americans are nuts.
Totally
capable of violence without remorse and or enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
And then when we talk about being able to convert people to act on a marketing message. Usually, an easy conversion is going to be 1% of that 10%. Right?
Okay, that's fine. Still,
So if you've got millions and millions of people, and then 10% of them are essentially
Nuts.
vulnerable to violent messaging.
Yep.
And then you've got organizations like ISIS and BLM and the extreme left and the extreme right that use social media to amplify their message of violence for the cause. You're going to have idiots that take action for whatever it is they believe is right. Let's take Area 51, for example.
sure.
That started out as a joke.
Yeah, it
and
starts
they're
out
getting
as
ready
a
to raid.
joke. Now you got 2 million people saying they're going to go, and people are like, do you think it's going to really happen? I'm like, here's what I think it's going to be. I think you're going to have a millennial Woodstock out in the desert.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a lot of people die of dehydration and
Probably.
malnutrition. There's going to be a traffic jam that lasts for 2 years. But here's the deal. If all those people show up out there and there's live bands and there's music and there's tents everywhere and it's like the fire festival for millennials, you're still going to have that 1% of that 10% that goes and climbs over the fence and gets smoke checked by the Air Force.
Yeah, you are.
So I'm just saying, I like saying I told you so. But anyway, that's where we get these violent kids that do these horrific shootings. Now, the conspiracy theorists will say, well, it's it's certain factions of the deep state that talk them into doing it. Okay, I'm not going there. Maybe that's happened once or twice. Maybe it happens all the time. I don't know.
I got to stop right there with you.
Okay.
The deep state could be involved because of the way they're overprescribing the psychotropic drugs these kids.
That's exactly
and there
right.
may
That's
be
another
some
thing we didn't have back then.
there may be something in these drugs.
Paxil, Zoloft.
And then a lot of these kids are seeing shrinks, and they could be getting programmed and not even know the program. They could be our optimal Manchurian candidate.
Well, let me ask you. So, again, I'm going to take it back to my roots in marketing.
Let's go for it.
When you watch a commercial for any drug on TV, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be for pimples.
Brother, I know where you're going.
It could be for hemorrhoids. It doesn't matter what it is. I can say that. The FCC says that.
Hemorrhoids, yes.
It's a medical condition. You're good.
So no matter what the drug is, they always end with,
Side
if you have thoughts of suicide, please stop taking blank, fill in the blank immediately, and contact your doctor. Why is it they don't say if you have thoughts of suicide or homicide?
Do it.
Well, I mean, why don't they say that?
Right.
Because they know the drug doesn't always. I believe that the reason so many people commit suicide on the psychotropic drugs is because their violent thoughts towards the people they love and/or towards innocence drives them to kill themselves to protect the people that they would otherwise harm.
Correct.
I'm now going to be killed by the pharmaceutical companies, and I want to caveat that with saying I'm happy with my life. I love everything about it, and I'm not planning on suicide anytime soon.
Oh my gosh.
Let's
We will
see.
be.
I'm the one that started that.
There he
so.
goes. This is 1280 a.m. This is the Not Politically Correct Show. We will be back right after this.
And we're back. Hey, in studio is Sig Glockincolt, Andrew Dodd. I'm Lee Thompson.
Sig Glockincolt.
Yes.
Yeah, just like the guns.
Right.
Sig, it's like 6 Hour.
Yep.
Glock, like the gun that
The Glock.
Yeah, the gun that was given to us by the Lord and Savior.
It is true.
And then Colt, like the original AR-15.
The one
that
that
my police
one he physically came down from the sky and created.
Right.
Let's call this what it is.
Now you're gonna pick on me. You're gonna hate me because of the one Glock I finally broke down and bought a
what'd you
Glock.
buy?
Oh, yeah? Tell me about a Glock 42.
No,
Don't tell me about a Glock 42.
I got a Glock 47,
Nice.
the 380.
Yeah?
I went into RK Guns
What?
to pick up. Well, I didn't know you were available.
No. That's not even what I'm talking about. You bought a 380 Glock. Are you kidding me, bro?
No.
Do you know I worked
It's a
2K
great.
when
It's
I
a
was-
great concealed carry.
When I was a North County police officer in St. Louis, I worked 2 shootings where one of the suspects I was dealing with were shot with a 380 and didn't know it.
Yeah.
Seriously, Lee. 45 ACP was handed down by the Lord himself.
Stopping power.
Exactly.
You know, I
Well, yeah, but it makes. But there's something about the sound
You know
of the
what? Though?
showcasing.
I'll tell you what.
I got a whole line of 357s
I'll
at
tell
the
you what.
house.
That 380 has been made more powerful with the invention and the manufacturing here in Missouri of Fort Scott munitions. Fort Scott munition copper spun 380 will take down a black bear
It is impressive.
Yes,
Dylan,
it
no
is.
question.
because it tumbles on impact.
Yeah. Oh, that was really good, man. Very nice. Now, is that something that where could they get that if they wanted it?
They sell that at a company in St. Peter's called TacticalSht.T.
Oh,
Which
really?
is what St. Peter's made us put on our side.
Oh,
And the
yeah,
company's
yeah. Yeah, I
actually
know.
Tactical, and if I say it in German, it's Shite.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can get that ammo there.
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
very cool. What calibers does that come in? Now?
It comes in 380, 9mm, 45, 10mm, 223.
Oh.
Do you
Comes in
really? Once you get
300
past
blackout.
9mm, do you really need it?
Yes. Yes.
You're still
absolutely.
ripping a big hole.
There is nothing wrong with the Smith & Wesson 500, Lee.
Well, I got a whole bunch of the snake line, so
Yeah.
Oh,
in 357s.
of course you do.
Now, we literally started selling Fort Scott munitions because of a video they had at SHOT Show last year
Yeah.
of shooting a big, we're talking like a 14-foot tall black bear
Yeah.
with a 380, and it dropped it like a sack of potatoes.
That's glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
So what's something like that run for a box? What
It's
it's coming in
pretty
a box of
expensive
10?
stuff. I think I think
Yeah.
it's a box of 10, and they're like $20.
That's not
Talking
bad.
$2 a round for
That's fine.
defensive
You
ammo.
just don't take it to the round.
Yeah,
to the range.
The nice thing about it, well, you should train with your defensive ammo at least once a year to make sure that A, it works, 2, that you understand the accuracy of it compared to the range crap ammo. you shoot.
Definitely.
But the neat thing about Fort Scott, not only does it tumble on impact, it's made to penetrate hard barriers.
Right.
Like car doors, windshield glass, drywall, things like that, relatively quickly. But then when it hits soft tissue, that's when it goes into a tumble. So it doesn't over-penetrate, a soft target on a bad guy.
Certainly. Very.
Or bear.
Yeah, bear. Okay, so we're going to jump on some body armor here in a second. I saw the coolest thing yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Absolute coolest. There's this company that makes a Glock magazine fed 9mm Gatling gun.
Yeah?
Have you seen this thing?
I have not.
Now, it is not a weapon, so you can order it, send it directly to your house.
Right.
It's crank, takes 30-round Glock mag, sticks on the side. It'll cost you about $5,000.
Yeah.
But it is giant and brass and comes with wheels and a little cart to wheel it around on.
That's awesome.
I want to shoot one.
Yeah, I love the idea that Gatling guns are pre-NFA and they're, you can actually own them. I saw one that
It's
was
glorious.
similar that was actually two 22 Gatling guns with a single crank.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
I'm a history dork. So for me, the whole fact it shoots 9mm and not 45-70 makes me go, oh, I can actually afford to crank that a couple times.
Right? Which is why everybody shoots PCC now instead of 5.56 and 3-gun.
Definitely. All right, so let's jump on down the rabbit train. What you got there, man?
Well, you wanted to talk about body armor.
Let's talk
because,
about body armor.
Yeah, I brought that up during the break.
Yeah,
so.
the 3 shootings that happened to. Did you notice that we had a period of relative peace there for a while, and then suddenly we have what is that called? A presidential debate.
Pretty much.
There's a presidential debate with a new election coming, and suddenly we go from the Trump utopian, peaceful society where I can't give away 80% lowers and I can't give away gun parts. Nobody's thinking about guns. There's no riots. There's no active shootings. To having 3 in a week. And then...
Well, and it's interesting because we chatted about this a little bit, and it was ever since the... what's the term we used for it? The farce that was the Las Vegas shooting?
Oh, yeah. Biggest conspiracy ever.
Then everything just kind of went quiet.
Yeah.
And it's relatively, you've had a couple of very small things, but then like you were saying, right after the debate, bam, 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 just on top of each other.
Yeah,
what is that?
And to not only that, but 2 of them, I believe 2, maybe all 3, were wearing body armor.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they didn't get into the specifics as to what kind, but they were nonetheless accused of, or allegedly wearing body armor. They were also wearing 2 of these 3 shooters for sure, the El Paso and the Ohio, who have no political belief similarities whatsoever, but yet they were both wearing eye protection and Hearing Pro.
Now, okay.
Like electronic muffling Hearing Pro.
Now, I'm going to say there's been all these people on the left going, oh, that's because they didn't want to hear the screen. Shut up. Stop.
Right.
What kind
It's
of...
electronic. You hear the scream, you don't hear the bang.
What kind of freaking dork wears Eye Pro and Ear Pro to a mass killing?
Well, the one that doesn't plan on dying. For
Seriously.
sure, because, are you going to really care about your ears ringing? Does it make you a more efficient killer to have your... The guy in Ohio was not only inefficient, he was an absolute imbecile. I mean, if you watch the video, he was so tunnel focused and he didn't notice the 6 cops that gunned him down.
No.
And drove 56 rounds, not through his body armor, but right up his butt.
Well, it seems like a reasonable target.
You know what? There was no armor there, but nonetheless, so these guys use armor You know, and suddenly we have the minority House leader, Schumer, that comes out this past Sunday and says that he is going to submit a bill when they fire up Congress in September to ban the ability for civilians to purchase body armor without FBI approval.
Now remember, Schumer is the same one who has pushed for body armor bans several times over the years.
I'd be willing to bet you if you dig deep enough, he probably owns stock in one of the two big body armor manufacturers in this country.
That's where I was going with that. Definitely.
I mean, our body armor sales have increased dramatically since Sunday. I mean, we've seen panic buying and prepping purchases go up. Our revenue this week compared to last year's up 89%. Traffic to the website's up in the hundreds of percent.
It's because your website's awesome.
Thank you.
Why don't you give us that address? Come on, bro.
Well, it's shop.TacticalSH. There's another letter there. T.com.
Yeah.
If you just Google, and if you Google Tactical SHT with no other letter, you'll find us. You can't miss us.
Go check it out. It's a cool website, guys. Yeah. Definitely give it a peek. This body armor thing, you know, they talk about, hey, we want to ban some civilian sales of body armor, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know about you guys. Now let's just call it what it is. I have a set in my trunk.
I have a set in my trunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need a set in my trunk.
We live in St. Louis where shootings happen on the highway.
And here's where the weird side. I'm a firefighter paramedic. Mm-hmm. I go to a lot of calls in my command vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't have a mandate that says carry body armor. I carry body armor and other accessories. We can all fill that in.
Right.
That may be necessary.
Sure.
Okay. If you're living in the world today, and you're not carrying, hey, let's carry some body armor with us. Do you have a hard-cased rifle with you? You probably need one. That's the truth of where we are. Because here's the thing, and I'm not saying that everyone can do it, but we are Americans. We are notoriously known for doing stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily bad stupid, but good stupid.
Yeah.
So that means if we find ourselves, you and I are standing outside this building, we hear massive gunshots inside, I'm going to armor up.
Yeah.
Let's armor up. Let's go inside. What's the worst thing that happens? We get smoked?
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, that's fine.
That's the thing. Good guy with a gun engages bad guy with a gun. Now bad guy's focused on you, not killing the people that are unarmed.
Exactly.
You might lose your life, but at least you've done so in defense of others, which may or may not be legal where you are currently listening to this.
It's
but
possible.
Me, I'm wired that way. I'm an ex-police officer. If I hear shots down the hall, I'm going that way right now.
It's just the wiring. It's what it is.
Well,
I understand not everybody falls into that.
No.
But I can tell you for me, it is better to go down the hallway and die respectably than to go, well, I heard all the shots and I called 911. What? You're an American.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
If you're not wired that way,
it's okay.
It's run, hide, fight.
Yeah.
But I like to mix those up a little bit because if you have that opportunity in that first moment of whatever it is, fight should be the first thing.
Absolutely.
You know, fight.
In that opening of any incident, any major shooting like that.
Well, what happens is you're going to distract him right away because once he gets into tunnel vision and focus, that's when he's his most dangerous. Until the police or somebody there with a gun gets there.
And we've seen this happen countless times with the last set of shootings we had. You know, I think there was a school shooting where one of the students immediately engaged the guy. Tackled him, and he lost his life, and he was raised up a hero.
Yeah.
You know, and it does suck, but
but let's call it like it was. He was raised up to be a hero, and he died one. Mm-hmm. That's the truth of it.
Yep.
There's no shame, there's no dishonor, there's no nothing. You did exactly what is the respectable and honorable thing to do, and that's fine.
And that's what we need, you know, and that's one of the reasons I started my tactical gear company and the social. I mean, we're a media company first.
Yeah.
You know, we've got 2 million fans on social media.
Yeah, you do.
And you know, my goal from the beginning was to help arm America.
Right.
You know, because at the time when I started the company, it was a pretty dark place here. It was it was before Ferguson. There was a lot of bad stuff going on. You know, and my thing was I wanted to create more good guys with guns, but not just getting them guns, but encouraging to get training and to have proper gear and to have proper mindset. You know, and those are the things that we still espouse today.
Right. On this body armor.
Yeah, man.
What do you recommend? I personally, I really like dragon skin. Other than the price of it is just so damn high.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's going to be some top level stuff. But I know a lot of SEALs and ODA guys that don't even have that stuff right now. What I recommend, you have your NIJ ratings, right? So if you're looking for armor that you can buy cheap, that never goes bad, that won't break when you drop it, that will stop most rifle calibers, but it's going to ring your bell and it's heavy. I recommend like AR-500 steel with a heavy buildup of basically bed liner. That's what they put on these things. They take AR-500 steel, they bend it, they cut it so you can move your arms, and then they spray. You want 2 coats of bed liner on it, because if you don't have the bed liner, the bullet hits the steel, splatters into your face, and you're smoked. With the bed liner, it bubbles up, catches most, if not all, of the spalling of the round hitting the steel, and therefore you can stay in the fight. Stepping up from there, you can go to ultra lightweight, ultra affordable polyethylene, which is a new material. It's basically made out of a product that looks like 1 million compressed trash bags, and you can literally dump it. It might weigh a pound, like some of the backpack armor we're selling now for kids' backpacks. Who Schumer wants them not to be able to have backpack armor, by the way. But that I've dumped an entire mag of 9mm into these things, and it captures they don't even make it halfway through this stuff. But that's not going to stop a 5.56 AR-15 or an AK-47. So then you move up to your hard poly. That'll stop an AK, your level 3 stuff. And then what we recommend for the guys that are actually doing work, guys that are cops or paramedics working in, places where they're more apt to get hit with flying objects at 3,000 feet per second. We recommend ceramic. The ceramic level 4 plates that we have are multi-strike, armor-piercing 30-06 isn't going.
And that's one of the
to disperse the energy enough to keep you from getting your bell rung.
That's one of the coolest ones. Was once they started, I've watched the progression of armor over the years, and when stuff started becoming it's multi-strike. Right. That was a big deal, because I remember being taught, listen, if you get hit in this armor, get that armor off, because suddenly it's going to turn into a claymore. Remember? I mean, we're talking a while back when guys were telling us, man, get that stuff off.
Yeah, back when it was straight ceramic. It's essentially glass. You ever dropped a plate?
It's like, well, good, you took one shot. Don't take another one. Get it off.
Because if that next bullet finds its way through one of those broken shards, it's going to come on in.
Yeah, but then the new stuff came out. I love new stuff. New stuff makes me happy. Now, I hate technology, but I like new things. Go figure that out. This is cool stuff, and they can get all of that at your store, right?
They can.
Awesome. They can get plate carriers, the whole works?
Like I said, we have plate carriers from Shellback, 511, Chase Tactical, TAC Pro Gear Black, all kinds of stuff for law enforcement. We have paramedic carriers that are blue that say medic on them.
Oh, nice.
We have all different types of stuff, and from what we call our ASK kit, it's the ASK Active Shooter Kit. It actually looks like a briefcase. Unzip it, it turns into a carrier with 2 plates. That's the one you put in your trunk. That's that we have that on the low end. Just under $300 with plates. Upwards, you can get into some significantly expensive plates with us. The lighter they get, and the higher the round capacity, the more expensive they get.
That makes sense. Guys, we are going to go to a quick commercial break. We will be back right after these. This is Not Politically Correct Radio on 1280 AM KYRO. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Segment 3. This will be the final on-air segment, and then we can cut it off.
To cover.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. You want to lead us up? You want to bring it up?
How am I going to do that? What do you want?
This is
Sig Glockincolt.
Not Politically Correct Radio.
Not Politically Correct. You're listening. Welcome back to Not Politically Correct. This is Sig Glockincolt, your not host.
Yeah, bring it on. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Not Politically Correct. This is Sig Glockincolt, and I'm not your host. So
That was glorious, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, as you know,
face for radio.
Oh boy. So, as you know, you are listening to the Not Politically Correct show, and we're talking about all kinds of things. We've talked about some stuff, but we are getting ready to dive down the path of the red flag.
No, this is the rabbit hole, the red flag.
This really is the rabbit hole. Somebody grab a hold of Alice. We are going down. All yours, buddy.
The red flag law is a horrifying thing. I mean, first of all, the red flag law is the things that, that's just one piece of this multifaceted attack that we're seeing suddenly, resulting from these shootings, resulting from the election run-up. But the scary part about the red flag laws is, I mean, there's a lot of scary stuff. They want to ban assault rifles. They want to ban high-capacity magazines. They're introducing the assault weapons ban of 2019, which makes the one under Clinton or Reagan or whatever look like a complete joke. It bans everything. I mean, you can't have a semi-automatic anything under this bill.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, they're coming after the magazines, they're coming after the drums, they're coming after the body armor we just talked about in the other segment. They're coming after triggers and binary triggers and arm braces. They want to reclassify the arm brace. But then the red flag laws, this is the one that the FUDs are okay with. And it's because seemingly on top, it makes sense. Well, we don't want guns in the hands of crazy people, so we probably shouldn't allow them to have guns. Well, here's the problem with that philosophy is, who's to say you're crazy or not? In this case, right now, red flag laws exist.
Yes.
Okay, it's called an ex parte order of protection.
It is.
And it's also known as a restraining order.
Right.
And the current law in most states in America is that if someone has lived with you before,
Right.
they intimately know you. That's your wife, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your parents. And you beat them. They can accuse you of beating them.
Correct.
And without immediate due process, they can issue an emergency ex parte order of protection, which immediately relinquishes your ability to carry a gun and own a gun.
Correct.
Until such time as you have a hearing, which is usually a week to 10 days later.
Correct.
And then the judge typically sides with the woman, and you still don't have any rights until the end of the ex parte order, which is months and months. And it's become part of the redneck woman playbook to get the ex parte order the second she packs her bags.
Pretty much.
Because then you can't text her, you can't call her, you can't show up, you don't get visitation with your children.
You get nothing.
And so that's the way the ex parte has been now abused to affect the rights of men. Now, not all of them are good. Some of them are scumbags that beat their women and deserve to have their rights taken from them.
Well, there's some women that shouldn't have guns too.
Absolutely. But the point is, so the red flag laws are already here.
Right.
So what they're talking about doing, our beloved Trump, Lord and Savior, he's saying, these red flag laws are pretty cool because we're going to have rapid due process.
Right.
That means no due process.
Right.
And what they're going to do is they're going to take the current ex parte order of protection and they're just going to eliminate the necessity of somebody to having know you or live with you. And therefore, every single troll on the internet,
Right.
that you say something on this radio show or you post something on your Facebook page or you tweet the wrong thing, they're going to, instead of just hitting that little button on social media and hitting report, and some social justice warrior at Facebook or Twitter then puts a 24-hour ban, or in my case a 30-day ban.
Oh, you got a couple of those? Yeah, give me some.
Yeah. I'm there with you,
I
though.
spend 6 months out of 12 banned from Facebook.
Very nice.
But that's a whole nother show. But instead of social justice warriors being able to report you on social media, they're now going to be able to report you to the National Red Flag Hotline. And who's going to enforce that? Who's going to do all those wellness checks? It's going to be local law enforcement.
Right.
And so local law enforcement then has to go be the judge of you and whether or not you're crazy. So they're going to knock on your door and say, hey, we got a report that you're not fit to own a gun. Well, how's that conversation going to go from there? Get off my porch. And next thing you know, just like, I forget which state it was in. Connecticut. They ended up shooting the homeowner. This was because his sister-in-law wanted to do a wellness check, didn't think he should have guns. He had talked about suicide.
Yeah.
And they came over there trying to take his guns, and they took his life instead. Because he didn't want to give up his guns. And he wasn't crazy.
No.
And that's going to happen.
And that's this path we're going to go down, because here's what we're going to start to see. On the surface, all of the bleeding hearts are going to go, oh, that's such a good idea. Well, but here's what happens with anything like this. Who determines at what point what defines crazy? Are you crazy because you're a Christian? Are you a Jew and you're crazy?
That's
Or
exactly
are you crazy? I mean, now
anybody with a different
Are you crazy because you voted for Trump?
Right.
Yeah.
Any varying of philosophy is going to classify you in some way. This has the potential to lead to some of the darkest days we've seen.
Is this
yet.
why Obama was setting up the FEMA camps and getting all the bags
Absolutely.
ready? Is this just part two?
I'm fine with it. I am absolutely fine with that. Is the background behind
this. If there's
this.
one thing that I say on this show that I want everybody to take away, I voted for Trump, and I don't know if I'd vote for him again, but I don't. It doesn't look like we will have another choice, but we'll see. You know, and I love most of what he's done, but I'm really when it comes to this stuff.
He's not real good at it.
No, there's lots and lots of Republicans turning on us suddenly.
And
the NRA has fallen absolutely on their knees and are absolutely useless because of their own inner turmoil. And can I talk about that for a second?
Go for it, man.
Okay, so the NRA has become this beast that does nothing but call you during dinner and beg for money, and you give them the money and you become the lifetime member. And because my daddy told me, the NRA, give them money, become a member because they're the only ones to fight for your freedom. Well, guess what? Last year, now this has all come out in the last 6 or 8 months.
Oh yeah.
Last year, they spent $1.5 million on, or no, it was $5 million. $5 million on lobbying. Okay.
Oh.
Now this, and I want to tell you, the NRA and the NRA ILA is the same thing. It's all the same money. It all goes to the same thing. This is $5 million on lobbying, but they spent $40 million on marketing with their ad agency and NRA TV, and that's a little. That's basically the NRA has become that charity you hate because none of the money goes to the cause. NRA is there for itself and itself only. And so now there's been all this inner problems because the CEO of the NRA, what's his name?
Wayne LaPierre.
Yeah, LaPierre. Oh, by the way, I'm demanding that you step down, Wayne. I'm demanding.
I
step
would also
down,
agree,
step
yes.
aside, go take your $6 million mansion you use $70,000 of NRA money to hire a consultant to buy right after the Parkland shooting. Go live in that house with your $250,000 wardrobe that the NRA bought for you. And just disappear. Go be rich and leave us and put somebody that can actually fight for our rights. But you know what? I'm being facetious. It's not going to happen. He's not going to step out of the way.
No.
And the NRA is absolutely silent on this entire thing. They're silent on all of it. And that's why I'm asking everybody that hears this podcast to support Firearms Policy Coalition.
Yeah.
And Gun Owners of America. They are both young, up-and-coming NRAs. All the money that you give them goes towards fighting the fight. And the thing I love about Firearms Policy Coalition is that they actually sue people. The money you give them goes to suing attorney generals all the way up to Trump himself.
Oh, I'm all about that. Let's give them how to
Google
it.
I donated $50,000 to Firearms Policy Coalition this year myself, and they told me at the end of that, you know, when we were making payments, at the end of that period, they're going to let me choose a law that affects St. Louis and Missouri, and let me choose who to sue, and we're going to do it.
I love it. That's awesome.
So that's pretty
So
awesome.
this is a group who's actually doing what the NRA once did, but has just become a gluttonous monster and now is incapable of doing any
The
real
only
stuff.
problem is, you know, I need everybody to go support Firearms Policy
Definitely.
Coalition and gun owners, because right now they are David fighting Goliath.
Yeah.
And the NRA is going to be completely silent about it. So back to red flag laws. You know,
Okay.
the red flag laws, you know, on the surface, they seem like a good idea.
No, they sound good.
They sound good.
It's for a well-being. It's to make people feel good inside. That's what a red flag law is there for.
The original red flag, I believe, was the Soviet Union flag. Or was it the Chinese
Both.
Chinese flag is red,
About the same
Soviet
thing.
Union's
Yeah.
red.
Yep.
Wonder where they got this idea
I don't
from.
know. What's that stuff called AOC's a fan of? Oh, that was it. Yep,
Yeah.
there it is. We got back around. We had to make fun of AOC there for a minute.
I remember the
but-
80s. We used to be really scared of Russia. Now we want to be like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
Simple. We discovered we like vodka.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, some of the best vodka's made here in Missouri, though.
Right. Texas, Tito's.
I knew we were going to go down it. I knew this was going to happen.
Look,
Thank you,
hey,
guys.
we've got off on the red flag laws, but we have never gotten to where I wanted to be on this. Look at how many constitutional amendments or constitutional rights are being violated.
Just with one law.
You know, the first, the fourth, the fifth, the seventh.
It's essentially the Patriot Act for your front door.
It really is. And, you know, I have to say it. I voted for George Bush. I liked what he did back in the day. That particular thing he did scarred my opinion of him forever. He acted appropriately. You know, when bad things happened, he was a new president, but he didn't act like a coward. I appreciated all of that. The Patriot Act, though, always brings up and reminds me ever so much of the famous saying, which I swear I say at every single show, Jefferson talked about, those who were willing to trade liberty for security deserve neither and will soon find themselves without both. This is one aspect. It's the original Patriot Act.
Mm-hmm.
This red flag law, we are going to see the exact same thing. The amount of liberty that has fallen by the wayside in the name of safety or security is unbelievable.
Do you know, I'm going to throw this out there. This is just my idea. You know, if you said, okay, we're going to not allow you to have your guns, just like an ex parte order.
Yeah.
During the time that you're being medically treated with pharmaceuticals for mental problems. And then if you successfully finish your treatment, then you can have your rights back. I think that might be a way to go about it. But
I've got to throw it out there. So my my dissertation is actually on the effects of psychotropic drugs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest problems we have in the United States is we have shut down mental institutions. What we find is a lot of these shooters, in a time when we had mental institutions, these are people who are a clear and present danger to themselves and to others. They would be institutionalized for an unknown amount of time. Well, we don't do that anymore, and we don't do that at all. A lot of these shooters, let's just take them at face value. There's no conspiracy. They're just crazy people that shot up places. In our previous existence, these people would not be on the streets, and they would not be taking handfuls of psychotropic drugs every single day, thus rewiring their brain chemistry. Mm-hmm. Not most, but a lot of people in the United States are prescribed, I believe, what was that one? We just talked about it last week, Lee.
Oh, Ambien's out there.
Ambien, and I believe
that makes
there was one other one.
sleepy.
Anyway, it's a mood stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you hear mood stabilizer, you go, oh, it's going to stabilize. Well, what it does is it makes you feel absolutely nothing. So if you already have no real moral guide and you feel absolutely nothing, how hard is it for you to kill a building full of people? It's not hard, because there's no anything that's dictating. You have no moral judgment and you have no ethics to guide you. This is what I've written about and what I've talked about with what one of the greatest problems, why we have entered not necessarily a culture of violence, but a culture of unremorseful violence. That's the whole thing. You look at we pulled up the picture last week where you could look at all these different shooters' faces. When you look at them, something's not right. Don't get me wrong. We're sitting here with some beards and we look.
they all look like a guy that works for me.
That's so bad.
Not you.
No, they have no expression on their face.
No,
They're just
you're right.
they're
They all have
robots. They're zombies.
They look crazy.
Right.
Let's just say it. They
Yeah,
look like
they-
crazy people.
They do.
You know? But see, that's just me saying they look crazy. So if I walk down the street and I look at you and I think you got funny looking buggy eyes, am I going to be able to call the cops and they'd come and take your guns?
Probably.
Just because you got
Yeah, I mean,
under the new
because you look
laws,
like a
you
punk.
may be
Yeah,
able
under
to.
the new law, I mean, I guess so. So we're very quickly wrapping up our on-air time. Now, here's what I want everybody to do. Couple of things here. Go find Not Politically Correct Radio on Facebook. Go like our page. All of our podcasts you can listen to on there. We have the bonus time coming up after this. So get on to the page, listen to the bonus time. It is significantly different than our radio time. The FCC cannot fine us for what we say on podcast. So please come join us on our podcast. Hit us a little bit about where they can find your stuff, man.
Well, like I said, you can find our stuff by just simply searching TacticalSht on any type of search engine, and you'll find our website. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Trust me, our sense of humor is team room humor, the kind of stuff that Special Forces guys.
Glorious.
So if you're easily offended, don't follow us. Our blog is at tacticalsht.com. Our store is shop.tacticalsht.com. But you can find all that on Google. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe there. We do all kinds of funny videos, serious videos, gun review videos, tactical gear armor videos.
It's
all
awesome
kinds of
stuff. Yeah.
Thanks.
I
Thanks for
bet
having
that
me.
letter is a vowel.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
It's a vowel.
Oh, okay.
vowel.
Now we're playing Jeopardy. All right. This has been Not Politically Correct Radio on 1280 KYRO. Stay tuned to our podcast for the next hour.
It looks-
next.
You guys. Yeah, you can find us on Google right now.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.